going to be fun, man. I cannot wait to watch you guys play.
Coming to you from the My Michigan TV studios.
We're going to kick you in the teeth.
It's the Roar Live.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
With hosts, Michigan High School Hall of Fame head coach, Tony Blankenship.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
The outsider, Scotty William, and Corey Tiez.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
Hello and welcome to the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and beyond. I'm your host, Scotty William. The Roar Live is your streaming choice for Lions coverage and commentary from fans like you and our panel, including Tony Blankenship and Corey Tiez. Today, we are going to recap Detroit Lions Week 2 game highlights loss to the Buccaneers. We're going to get Tony's takeaways. Corey is going to tell it like it is. He's gotten a lot of viewers commenting. They don't like what he has to say. So Corey's going to tell it like it is. It's going to be something spectacular, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The truth.
We'll see. Stay tuned for that. Dave Scott will have interviews from Detroit Lion fans outside of Ford Field. The question of the week we need answered is, who is your Detroit Lion this 2024 season? And does that change now that the Lions lose here in Game 2?
Who's your Lion?
All right. Also, this show is all about you. We want your comments, but this ain't radio, baby. We want to hear and see you. So get your Zoom on and join us. It's easy. Just scan the screen, follow the links, and get ready to bring it. All right. We're going to definitely go right into the highlights here in Week 2 for the Lions loss. Opening drive for the Buccaneers will go 22 straight games without a TD on the opening drive. The defense was led by Aiden Hutchinson, who stuffs Baker Mayfield in the red zone. The Lions would then get their chance on an opening drive, but that ended in a Jared Goff interception. And from there, the Bucs would take over, but it was Aiden Hutchinson getting his second sack on second down. The Bucs couldn't recover, and they had to settle for a 55-yard field goal. The next drive for the Lions was a 50-yard gain by Jamison Williams, but the Lions would have to settle for 3 on a Jake Bates 22-yard field goal in the red zone. Aiden Hutchinson was a menace all day. He gets his third sack in the first quarter to end another Buccaneers drive. The Lions would take over, and it was Jake Bates again, 35 yards out, and he ties everything up 6-6 to start the second quarter. The Bucs would answer on a Mayfield touchdown pass, 41-yard touchdown pass to Chris Godwin. He has been Baker Mayfield's favorite target thus far. And then, after that, Baker Mayfield. Oh, we got that was an interception by Baker. Mm-hmm. Sorry, and then it was this Jake Bates field goal from this in the second half to put it up. The Lions up. Lions scoring 9 on that one, so 13-9 for the Lions. The Bucs take over, but it was Aiden Hutchinson again. His 4th sack, and they would have to punt. David Montgomery would grab the ball here and score to make it 15-13 Lions. Jake Bates would hit the extra point to make it 16-13. The Bucs would answer back with a Baker Mayfield 11-yard TD run. Man, the extra point would make it 20-16. 6 plays, 70 yards, 2 minutes and 52 seconds on that drive. Aiden Hutchinson would come back after that. He goes for his 4.5 sack. That's right. 4.5 sacks on the day for Aiden Hutchinson. As you see there, right before that, Jared Goff had threw another interception in this game. That was his story all day long. Inopportune throws, and that's what really cost him. Gibbs would convert on a 4th down here late with 1:18 to go, but as you know, the Lions couldn't capitalize in the red zone, and then they got the ball back, but it didn't matter. The Bucs pulled it out 20-16, and they see themselves at 1-1 on the season. We have Dave Scott outside of Ford Field with fan reactions. Dave, who do you got for us today?
Dave Scott, downtown Detroit. Kind of a sad day today. Lions couldn't pull it together in spite of some amazing work by, Hutchinson and others. I met a wonderful person today who's going to be a big part of our broadcast today and hopefully going forward. It's Patrick Dugan. Patrick, good to meet you.
Good to meet you,
Dugan,
sir.
Dugan.
We'll go with Dugan.
Dugan. Patrick Dugan with Down with Detroit. And Patrick, we've got an amazing website and social media presence. He's bringing about 350,000 people along watching the show tonight. So, hey, good to see you.
Hey, it's great to be here. I really appreciate it. And I think it's very serendipitous that we're able to meet today.
Absolutely. Talking about the Lions game, sad ending.
Bad result, but, great fans, good game, tough NFC game. I thought we were going to pull it out, but long season, we're going to be coming back.
What's the one thing the Lions need to do better next week and throughout the rest of the season?
I hate to say it, but I think that our quarterback play could have been a little bit better today. Just a little bit better, and we get that win.
Yeah.
No knock on Jared Goff, but could have been a little bit better.
Offense, a little out of sync. We'll talk to other fans about that today. You've got some T-shirts.
I do. We're going to try to give some away.
We'll give these away as we're talking to people. Is that cool?
That's cool, man. We got the Motor City Dan Campbell tour shirt right here. So we got the full schedule and the MCDC going on. We're going to try to give a few away.
All right, and just a quick plug for your sites.
DownWithDetroit.com is the name. Follow us on any social. We'll be linking up with Dave and hopefully doing a whole lot more in the future.
All right, more fans. Not many happy fans, but more fans coming up. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. I like that MCDC shirt.
Yeah, I like that.
I need one of those,
I like
Dave.
that.
When
That's
you
sweet.
come back, I need one of those.
Yeah, throw me one.
Tony, this is to me, I think this is a horrible game offensively for the Lions. I don't know about you, but you hate to pile on a loss, but I mean, what is your takeaways out of this?
You know what?
out of this
Goff
game?
was 34 out of 55.
Yeah.
That says everything to me. Anytime you got to throw the ball 55 times and you score 16 points, that's a problem. That's a serious problem.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on with Jared Goff. Obviously, the coaches know, those guys who practice with him every day, they know. They have an idea what's going on. They see practices every day. They have an idea of how things are being ran every day. I'm not sure what's going on as a fan or someone who loves the game. That's not normal for an elite quarterback, for an NFC champion, possible champion football team, a team that's trying to get to that level. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. 1 touchdown scored today. Not always all Jared Goff. Trust me when I say that. I haven't played that position before. It's tough. It's a team game, but that's a lot. That's a lot.
That is.
Tone, the first touchdown by Tampa Bay, give us a little rundown of this play coming up here. Tampa was able to score here on this play by Baker Mayfield. He threw this one to Chris Godwin.
Yep.
Is this a secondary issue for the Lions, or were they just outmatched with the wide receiver play with Tampa?
It looks like a blown coverage to me.
Okay.
In this particular play, they had trips to the boundary, 3-by-1. They end up running a fake bubble screen. The Lions were looking for the bubble screen for the receiver to catch it in the backfield. As you can see, number 7 going into the flat. They saw that. They jumped it. You had the number 2 receiver do a wheel route down the sideline. The corner's responsibility is that half of the field. Number 0, he jumped the seam route with number 13, a receiver for Tampa. And because he jumped that route, he left Godwin back door wide open for a touchdown.
Yeah, Chris Godwin was definitely the target for Baker Mayfield today. Corey, how did you feel the secondary for the Lions did today?
Terrible. I thought they did terrible. I thought the defense looked bad.
I thought the offensive line looked a little shaky today, too, which is surprising, don't you?
They looked terrible. Yeah, I mean, just, again, pump the brakes. Long way to go. Long season. The secondary has a lot to be desired still. On paper, everything looked good. We drafted. I'm still not impressed. You should be 0-2. You should be 0-2. The Lions look terrible today.
Well, listen, everybody has been ripping on Corey to some extent through the comments on the YouTube. I think we have a comment here off YouTube by Ben Diesel, I think his name is.
Yeah, Diesel.
Corey made some comments about Amon-Ra Brown, St. Brown, and Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra isn't great. Hutch isn't great. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Motor Seated Ben Diesel. He's the big comment guy here, Corey. I have to say, Amon-Ra hasn't looked great. Hutch looked good today, but he was also playing. Buccaneers were playing without their starting tackle.
Yeah.
But I mean, go into that, Corey.
Well, let me. Thanks for Diesel for shouting out to us.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Diesel.
Shout out to Diesel.
And let me go back to that. What I said was Lions fans tend to make good players great, average players good players great. So I'm going to throw out a few names here. So with the Amon-Ra, so we got, what's the kids in Minnesota? We got Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Who's the kid in Cincinnati?
Which one?
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
Tyreek Hill.
Still
Devontae Adams to me.
Devontae Adams.
Is Amon-Ra that? Are they great?
They are.
Is Amon-Ra that? That's what I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
I said Amon-Ra is good. He's not great.
Yep.
All right. Now let's get into the Hutch thing. I'll throw out some more names. Bosa, Watt,
All pros.
Parsons,
All pros.
Garrett.
All pros.
Is Hutch that?
Not yet.
Okay. Hutch is good. He did what he was supposed to do against a depleted offensive line. He got to the quarterback. He made plays. But at the end of the day, it didn't make any difference. So he's got 4.5 sacks already, 5. So he's got maybe a total of 6, 5. Let's see how he ends up. If he ends up with 12, that ain't good. That's all I was saying. I'm not taking away. I'm not saying he can't be great. I just said he's not great. And then Big Diesel came in and said, "What the am I talking about?"
Right.
The F.
So yeah, and I appreciate that. And Diesel, keep calling in because I'm going to keep making comments because I see a whole lot of chinks in this Lion armor. So yeah, that's all. Let's clear that up. Good players, not great yet.
We got Dave on outside of Ford Field with another interview. Dave.
Thanks, guys. Dave Scott back downtown here. Sad day. Tigers win at least. Lions don't. Devin is with us. Hey, Devin.
Go, Gordon. How you doing? Devin here.
I'm doing pretty good. So, your thoughts on the game today?
We looked okay. We could have done a couple things better. Our backfield looked a little leaky, but hey, we can't win them all.
Aiden Hutchinson had all kinds
can't
of
win 'em
stats
all.
today. But, even with those big numbers, Baker Mayfield is really very mobile.
He looked good, man. Not being a Bucs fan, but my dad's a Bucs fan. He was pretty happy with his performance today.
Are you bullish on the Lions for the rest of the season?
It's just one game. I definitely think we can come back. So,
And finally, we're asking everybody today, who's your favorite Lion for this season? Who are you keeping an eye on?
I got Laporta on, but man, this looks like a JMO season. He's been on fire the last couple games. I really think he's got a shot this year.
He's been doing really well. Thank you very much. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Laporta, he could be a lot of people's favorite Lion for 2024. I don't know if I'm ready to say who my guy is. Well, yeah, I am. It's Jake Bates.
I was going to say,
He's been the most consistent Lion thus far.
Right, very clear.
What about you, Coach?
Actually,
do you have a Lion? I know it's going to be hard for you.
No, I like Bates and I like Gibbs still.
Okay.
I like Bates and Gibbs. I don't know if Laporta is in the. It's still early.
Yeah.
Is this the sophomore jinx?
Yeah.
He hasn't played well the last 2 games, but again, it's 2 games. It's 2 games. But as for right now, Bates has been consistent. I thought his control of contact would be, but he looks fine right now. So I'm going to go with Gibbs and Bates.
Tony, Campbell seemed to make a couple of really questionable decisions, so to speak. We know how good the Lions have been on 4th down conversions. This fake punt and I think who caught it? Savaki caught this one to set him up for the first down.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway on this?
Great call, dangerous call. I'm just surprised that Tampa, having played the Lions 3 times in a calendar year, is not prepared for this. Right. That's the thing that's probably more shocking to me. Mm-hmm. What happened was you have your up back in the situation on the punt return team. He's responsible for any fakes and of any kind. The young man sitting in the middle, great football player, had a great game. Number 8 for, is it Cavassier? Young man played a great game.
Yeah.
In this particular situation, he has to make sure that nothing leaks. Now, he was caught in a little bit of a tough situation because what they did was they sent 2 guys out to his left, making it as though they like if you see 42 there, and I don't know who the other number is, they're going to both belly out to the right here, and he sees that and immediately jumps that, and during that process, you have an up back on the punt team who streaks straight down the field and is wide open. But his responsibility is to make sure nothing comes across that line of scrimmage and that he has to defend it. In other words, you can't jump anything. He should have just backed up and got depth so he can see it all.
Yeah.
He took one side, the other side came open because, trust me, that was a check with me. That was a read for that punter. Mm-hmm. Had he jumped to the right, he would have thrown it to one of those 2 guys who went out to the left.
Yeah.
My point being made, get you some depth, make sure you're in position to make a play either way.
Yeah.
By him committing to one side, Lions got a first down on a fake punt.
That worked for him. But later on, to end the half, what could have been a 3-point play, they muffed it up there at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say that is a coaching error on that?
It has to go on the coaches in that particular situation because you have to have what you practice in during the week of your 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
Your under 2-minute drill. When you got to get guys on and off the field at a specific amount of time, it has to be something that they work on, Coach Campbell and his staff and that team works on. For whatever reason, they were not prepared, and it looked like they weren't prepared. So that's something that they got to do a much better job of. It's not a good look. It's something that I'm sure that Coach Campbell and his staff will address, and I'm positive it's something they're not very happy about.
Yep.
You are watching The Roar live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. You can join us live after every Lions game this season on any device. Just install the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone or smart TV, or visit mymichigantv.com. And we have Dave out again, some more fans outside of Ford Field. Who do we got now, Dave?
All right, welcome back to downtown Detroit. Lots of fans. Not all of them made it into the stadium, but every single person watched the game, including you 2 lovely ladies. What's your name?
Emma. Mel.
Emma and Mel. You big Lions fans?
Of course. Duh.
All right, apparently you got the attention of our Down with Detroit crew here, and they got shirts for you. But first of all, your thoughts about the game?
Honestly, it was a great game. Go Lions all the way. Every time.
Do you have confidence about the team, even though they had a little hiccup today?
Yeah, of course.
Do you come down for most of the games?
Yeah, every Sunday.
All right.
Die hard Lions.
All right, and final question, Brett. You don't get a shirt. They don't get a shirt till they answer the final question. Hang on.
The Lions needed to lose.
Final question. Who's your favorite Lions?
I would say Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, how are you?
Same.
Jared Goff.
Jared
In spite of
Goff.
Jared not having the best day, he's got two of the prettiest fans here. They give him a T-shirt.
We love his wife, honestly. We love you, Kristen.
Isn't that cool? All right, there you go. We're having fun down here. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. We want to hear from you. It's all about your comments. This ain't radio, baby. We want to hear and see you. So get your Zoom on and join us. It's very, very easy. Just scan the QR code on the screen and follow the links and get ready to bring it. We're hearing from people down in Ford Field. We want to hear from you, the people that have been sitting around at their house, drinking beer, eating chicken. What else do we like doing?
There it is.
Tortillas,
nachos.
Nachos, yeah, that's what it is, yeah.
We want to. We want to hear from you. I know we got to have some angry Lion fans sitting at their house. We want to hear from you.
Should be angry.
Look at that. Get that call in right now on
Should
that
be
Zoom
very
in. We
angry.
want to hear from you.
Should be very angry.
So, if we had to have some highlights from this Lions game, it would have to be Hutchinson, wouldn't it be, Tony?
Absolutely, yeah, 4.5 sacks. That's a career game. You know, the question is it something that he's going to do for the rest of the year, as Corey brought up earlier, and speaking to one of our ticket texters who came in and had a comment about us saying, you know, is he great or not?
Yeah.
Look, it's amazing for him to play the way he played, but as you mentioned as well, Scott, he was going against a second team, even third team tackle, to the point where at the end of the game they had to bring the tight end in to try to block the guy.
Exactly.
He's a great football player. We know that. Is he elite yet? No, he's not.
Do you think he can be elite?
I think he can. It's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's not going to just happen because we want it to.
Right.
I was blessed enough to play with his dad. His dad was a great player at Michigan. He's come from great stock. He's a high-energy guy. He definitely tries to do it the right way, and we all support that. But that doesn't mean you're elite. You have to go out and do it game in, game out, week in, week out. You cannot have 4.5 sacks, 5 sacks, and then end up with 12 in a 17-game season.
Right.
Okay, and that's all I'm going to say, and I agree with Corey when it comes to that. I support the young man. I'm very happy for him. He's a Michigan man, so I got to support him. And at the same time, I'm going to be just as critical because I want to see what he's going to do going forward.
Yep.
Cool.
Yo.
You talked about Hutchinson earlier, responding to the comments on YouTube. You think Hutchinson could be great?
I think he can. I just don't think he is now. You know, those players that I mentioned earlier, they don't need extra help. They get through double teams. They get to the quarterback. A lot of time, Hutch is busy not getting to the quarterback. But I think he can be great. He has the energy. He has the brain. He has the smarts. He can do it. But just pump your brakes, everybody. He's not, a lot of stuff is, you got to look into these games. You got to look at what's going on. You got to look and dissect them. He can be great, absolutely, but he's not there yet.
Well, Dave has some more fans for us down at Ford Field. Dave Scott, who do you have for us now?
All right, Dave Scott downtown with Tim and Tom. They are twins. They were at the Lions game. Might have been better off going to the Tiger game today. They win 4-2. Lions not so lucky.
Not so lucky, but you know what? We're not going to give up on those Lions. What they did give up was the rush. Okay, I would have liked to see more running from either Montgomery, well, mostly Montgomery and Gibbs. But we were passing the football way too much against a team like Tampa. I don't know. The one thing I can say is that we got to get Jameson Williams, and we didn't throw a long ball at all today. We were throwing them flat. We were running the ball, but we didn't chuck it long at all.
Yeah, seemed like Goff had time today, but either the routes weren't there or he wasn't connecting. I don't know. We've had a couple other people say he just didn't look comfortable.
Yeah. No. Look at that first possession by Tampa. They got that offensive that defensive pass interference, which I didn't even agree with. But you got to play through. The refs and stuff like that, but we're relying way too much. I want the old Dan Campbell back. Let's settle for let's get touchdowns, not field goals.
He did go for that fourth down fake on the punt.
That was nice. The only other thing I would say was they didn't really use Laporte a whole lot today. And when you got that nice tight end, he's big. he should have got more balls. And defense kind of played okay, but it was just one of those games. You can't win every game, you know. So we're going to take this win okay. I think we're going to bounce back. As long as we win the divisional games, that's all that matters. Beat Minnesota, beat Green Bay, right? That's all that
Guys,
matters.
before you go, who's your favorite Lions of the season?
I like Montgomery, man. The way he handled the ball in the last game and overtime, how he just charged through the. Yeah, Montgomery.
How about you?
I like Goff. You know, I think it's just going to get better. It's the second game of the season, so I think it's just going to get better.
All right, well, a couple of more thoughts from our fans here downtown.
Go Lions.
Go Lions.
Go Lions.
Everyone's still optimistic it's better than 1-1 record. Back to you guys.
Well, Goff seems to be the guy that everybody's picking. I'm surprised after this week. We were talking last week about the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
After their loss there in Brazil to Philly, and then they lost Jordan Hutchinson. But they responded today against the Colts.
Jordan Love.
Or Jordan Love. They responded today with a win, 16-10 over the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, 32 carries and 151 yards for Josh Jacobs today.
Ooh.
Tony, they responded. They're up 1-1. The Lions are 1-1. They responded with a backup quarterback and a guy they just picked up not even a week ago,
And
in Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Malik,
Well, look, when you rush for 155 yards, it doesn't matter who's handing it off.
Right.
You can hand it off, Scott.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
I can hand it off. And Corey can hand it off.
Right.
Look, they got a stud. He's a big-time running back.
Yes, he is.
He's
not a
special.
slouch.
He's
He's
not
no
no
slouch.
regular dude. He was never a regular dude with the Raiders. He just got to stay healthy. And it's hard to stay healthy when your linemen are not very good and your team is not very good. Green Bay has been consistent in building their organization year after year after year. They always seem to get the right guys to come in and make sure that the organization continues to prosper and excel. They got Jordan Love, who's a big-time quarterback. Now they brought in another back to replace another good back who they had years before who had gotten older.
Top-notch management.
And that means the general managers and those guys, the talent pool and the talent assessment of that group and those guys in Green Bay, they do a good job. And it's really just that simple. They are the epitome of what you need to do in the NFL, and they've proven that by winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Scott has some more fans down at Ford Field. We want to hear from you. Dave, who do you got now?
So fans of all ages, guys, including Jackson. How you doing? So, what do you think about the Lions? A little sad about the loss? All right, so you think they're going to win the rest of their games? Okay, come right over here. Don't be scared of me. It's okay. I won't fight. Who is your favorite line? We're asking everybody. Okay, did you report? He was injured a little bit. But he'll be okay. All right, my friend. Thank you very much. There you go. Live from downtown. Fans of all ages. Back to you guys.
The little guy went with
That's nice.
St.
That's
Brown.
nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Good job. You are watching The Roar live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. You can join us live after every Lions game this season on any device. Just install the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone or smart TV, or guess what? You can visit us at mymichigantv.com, and we want to hear from you. We're hearing from fans all along the streets by Ford Field. Dave's had a few in here. Yeah. We've heard Goff. We've heard who's your Lion. It's been Goff, St. Brown. We've heard Montgomery. Mine was Jake Bates. Gibbs. Yeah. Who's yours, Tony?
Well, for me, I got to go with Jack Campbell.
Really? Okay.
Young man's flying around. If you guys looked at the game, I know we see it from different perspectives. Sure. Made a lot of plays. He's played well the last two games. He's definitely an improvement of what they've been able to do when it comes to their front seven the last couple of years. We were concerned with the linebacker play. We were concerned if not, they can be elite at that level. I'm not saying he's an elite player yet. I'm saying he's improved, and I'm noticing it. He's flying around. He's making some really good plays in open space. That's what people need to recognize and understand. At this level, when you play in the NFL, it's really about being able to tackle in space.
Okay.
When you're in the gaps and nobody else is there to help you, you got to make a play against some really good athletes trying to make you miss. And I feel like Jack has done a good job. Really happy with his production, and to me, he's the guy for me today. Low-scoring game.
Speaking of – what'd you say?
Was Alizoni up there? What did he do?
Anzalone didn't really. To me, I didn't think he was kind of non-existent compared to the first quarter of week 1.
Man,
yeah, he had 4 tackles total today.
Yeah,
definitely not something that we've seen. Well, not something we expected. We thought he'd be flying around again. Campbell had 6 tackles. So as well as Branch had 6. But again, you got to be consistent at this level. This is not, anything. It's not college. It's big-time NFL football.
Right.
And if you're going to be elite and you're going to be a team that's going to contend to win Super Bowls or even to play for Super Bowls, you got to have some big-time players showing up in big-time games. Today was a big-time game, you guys. We cannot act like it's not.
It's not sugarcoated. Yeah.
You can say, well, we got to win our conference games. This is a conference game.
Yep.
It's the NFC conference.
Yep.
It's going to have an impact on tiebreakers, just like them beating the Rams had an impact on tiebreakers.
Right.
It's important that they win these games. The games that you're not concerned about is the Houston Texans.
Right.
Those are the games you're not concerned about. The teams that they're not going to have any impact on them making the playoffs or them having ties and having to deal with tiebreakers.
Right.
So it's a game that I felt like they should have won there at home. They were an 8.5-point favorite by Vegas, I think, to start off, and I think it dropped to 7. I was shocked by that many points. But as Corey and I talked during the production meeting, I felt like that was fool's gold even then.
Fool's gold.
Something wasn't right.
Fool's gold.
Vegas was trying to trick us because they were giving them too many points, man. Something wasn't right the whole time. So Lions got to do a better job of stepping up. And I'll finish with this. We have to be aware of the schedule and how tough it is to get up every week. They just played a very physical game last week against the Rams. Now they had a very physical team coming in here with the Buccaneers this week, and then it never stops. You are now being chased. You are not the one that's hunting. You're being hunted every week against everybody.
Yeah.
Well, we talked defense a lot. Of course, that was probably the biggest highlight from the Lions today, other than Jake Bates' field goals. But but is there anything offensively wise that you did see stand out like that? And that goes to both of you. Is there anything that you've seen offensively that was good today?
Go ahead, Corey, and I'll come behind you.
It was hard. It was hard to. Gibbs is a good runner. It was hard. The problem with me is that I wanted to see better quarterback play. Listen, guys, the Lions are stuck with Goff. They're stuck with him. This quarterback makes too many mistakes. But nobody gets down on him because you're stuck with him. You just paid him a boatload of money. He's an average quarterback. And he's the leader. He's the guy with the ball in his hands. He's the decision maker. He made poor decisions today, bad decisions today. I've always said this is a guy, the accident is waiting to happen. He showed it today.
Wow.
The Lions are stuck with Jared Goff. And I'm going to pour some cold water on this whole thing. Jared Goff is not taking you to the NFC Championship again. He's not.
Wow.
He's not. We have to look into the mirror, Lions fans, and you have to look at this seriously. The guy was throwing the ball in the dirt. It should have been 4 interceptions today.
True.
Jake Bates, offensive guy. That's it. He was the offense today. Field goal.
Yeah, I agree with you, Corey, except Ahman did have a bunch of plays that he was able to make 11 catches for 119 yards. So that's success. And that's because they threw the ball 55 times.
He threw the ball 55
times. We hope he's going to make it out of week.
Yeah, like shooting the ball 40 times and scoring 20. Yeah. So, it's tough. I'm just stats-wise, and to bring that up too, and Corey, not to take away from what you're saying, because you're absolutely right. the thing is, if Armand is hurt, they're in a world of trouble.
They're in a world of trouble.
And we need to look at that later as well, too.
Yep.
We have Dave Scott, our field reporter, down at Ford Field interviewing the fans. Dave has another one. Dave, who do you have now?
All right, fans making their way, guys, from the stadium. And Trey is here right now. How's it going, Trey?
Good. How about yourself? Good.
You know, I'm doing good. Everyone's in a good mood, but, you know, that was kind of a tough loss.
It was a tough loss. I feel like, one, we got the game back in their hand. For two, Goff could have did better. Goff was throwing terrible passes throughout the whole game. And I just felt like we weren't in good defense.
So let's talk about the offense for a minute. It did seem to be a little bit of a
That's correct.
What do you attribute that?
$12 beer shotgun.
I mean, you kind of took that off there right out of the box. Him, we get some receivers running routes. I think it's maybe they didn't really do much in preseason.
How much do you think you
They practiced a bit better. I feel like Goff was scoring anyway. I feel like he was focused. It's all good. Not paying attention to the
Best deal in town. No one's being there.
All right, very good. Defense here.
$12 flat. You get a beer and a
That's it, because I've been talking about Goff.
Yeah. So he's your favorite Lion.
Yeah,
You just told him to a Irish fan.
Of course. I have faith in him.
Thank you.
And congrats to Aiden Hutchinson on 5 sacks.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. All right, Aiden, doing well. Goff. Yeah, we keep talking about it.
We got you, Goff.
All right, the fans still with him. Still be saying Jared Goff, Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. You're watching The Roar live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. You can join us live after every Lions game this season on any device. Just install it, the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone or smart TV, or you can watch us at mymichigantv.com. That is the QR code. That's all you need to do to get in on the conversation. We want to hear from you. We've heard from numerous fans down at Ford Field today in this Lions 20-16 loss. Looking at the other team that's playing pretty well. They're 2-0 now. They would be the leaders right now, I believe, in the North. The Vikings beat the 49ers 23-17 today, thanks to Justin Jefferson and his 4 catches for 133 yards, a touchdown. But Darnold's playing well. Not surprising to me. What do you think, Co?
Well, yeah. Again, if I'm the Lions fans, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the Green Bay. I'm nervous. I'm spooked because I mentioned earlier, Darnold is in a place where he has a team around him. And I said that Minnesota is going to muck things up. They're going to mess it up because they're going to win games. They won a big one today, a huge one today. Okay? Green Bay went in and they beat, I'm not surprised, they beat the Colts. So this is concerning for me, if I'm a Lion fan. Mm-hmm. You know, Minnesota's going to be a problem in that division. This division, again, is going to be no cakewalk. Everybody's got them just leapfrogging and winning the division.
For sure.
It's not going to be easy.
No.
It is not going to be easy because these teams gotten better too, and they have other players.
Yep.
They have great players.
Yep.
They have good players. So it's going to be tough.
Yep.
Hey, I don't know. We'll see. I wasn't impressed today. Lions got a lot of work to do.
We talked about all the Lions and what they need to do offensively and defensively. Tony, what does the Lions have to do coaching-wise, especially after we've seen that first half fiasco, to end the game, to end the first half? Yeah. What are the coaches going to have to do to improve for next week?
They got to do a better job of paying attention to detail. It's too many guys on the sideline. It's too many guys hired within the organization to help everybody get the job done that needs to get done. There's no excuse for to have 10 guys at the top, 20 guys on the sideline, and you not know time-wise how many timeouts you have left, time-wise how much time we have per play, etc. There's a lot of different factors and a lot of things you have to be able to do to make sure things are going the right way.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by paying attention to detail. the Lions must be in a mind to know that teams are going to be well prepared for them at this point. It's the NFL, and you got to coach up now. And what I mean by coaching up, and I mentioned this to Scott earlier when we were talking before we came on, Coach Campbell in that offense, and as well as the defense, and defense didn't do a bad job today, but offensively, you can't be an A, B, C, D offensive coordinator. You got to be a guy that can spread it and stretch it beyond. Teams have made the initial adjustment.
They have.
We see that now.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, we see that teams know what you like to do, and they know how to stop you. So now your job as a head coach, your job as coordinators, all right, let's go and figure out our adjustments. The difference in great coaches and good coaches are coaches that make the best adjustments.
That is a great
If the
point.
Lions are going to be elite, they will have to be able to go to another stratosphere when it comes to them being an elite organization.
Exactly.
You will not be able to play games like this with any consistency and then try to sell to everybody that you're an elite Super Bowl organization.
Right.
You're going to have to step up your game because everybody else in the league is coming for you,
Right.
and they've stepped up their game.
Yep. And it's so funny. Coach Campbell and I, we talked about this at Applebee's just last week. We were at Applebee's. We were talking. And he said, he was going to take care of the clock. He was going to do the fake punt. We knew that.
Yeah.
But Campbell's got to get better. Him and Goff got to get better. Those are the two pieces that have to be better
Yes.
at all times.
Yep.
That gets you to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Those two are going to get you to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And right now, it's a rocky boat. The ship is shaking.
Yep. I agree. That's how you win. Quarterback and coach. Can't name a Super Bowl champion without either. I don't care if it was a great quarterback. Whoever the Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl with a quarterback who played a great game in the Super Bowl. But they had a great defense and a great coach.
Yep.
Well, this show is all about you. We want your comments, but this is not radio, baby. We want to hear you and see you. So get on your Zoom. Join us. It's easy. Just scan the QR code on the screen, follow the link, and then get ready to bring it. We want to hear from you. We've heard from numerous fans down at Ford Field, and the question of the week is, who's your Lion? Mine is Jake Bates. Corey's is Hutchinson. Tony's, I believe he said Jack Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell. I had
Jack Campbell, middle
Gibbs
linebacker.
Too.
Oh, you had Gibbs too.
Yep.
We've had people down there in the fans with Dave saying Jared Goff, even after a horrible game, in my opinion, from Jared Goff. People saying Goff. Montgomery. Who is your Lion? We want to hear from you. So dial in right there on the QR code. So the next game on the schedule for the other team in the division, they play tonight, an 8:20 game. Bears-Texans. I think the Texans have the weapons to win handedly. And I'm going to say this. I think this could be a blowout by the Texans. The Bears don't have Keenan Allen. Not a big surprise with as many times as he's been injured over the past few years when he's with the Chargers. Odunze has a knee, but he's going to play, so that's going to affect him. Caleb, young guy, he's still making his mistakes. He didn't really play good last week. It was the defense that stepped up. How do you guys feel about this game coming in?
I think the Texans beat them. Texans just a better team. Texans are going to beat them. They have a better quarterback. They have a better coach. They have a whole bunch of weapons. Stroud is the guy. But I do look for the Bears to play better. I do. I honestly do. They have a good defense, so they can maintain. But the Texans will pull this game out. No question about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Houston's the best team. I think they are the up-and-coming team now in the NFL. They're everybody's new favorite. They're the new Cincinnati Bengals, in my opinion. When Joe Burrow and that organization was ascending a couple years ago, I believe that's what's happening right now with Houston. I don't think that Chicago is ready yet, but I would not take Chicago for granted because they do have some things that help you win football games. They have a sound defense, and they have a good running game, and they stick to it. Yeah. They stick to their guns, and they play the game close to the vest. So I'm believing that coaching staff will make sure they're in position to at least keep that game close. I'm going to go with Houston, though, to win it at home.
Well, the North is looking like this right now. We have the Packers at 1-1. The Vikings are 2-0. If Chicago wins today, I know we're all calling a Texas win, but if Chicago wins, they're 2-0. And then I have to eat crow because, I've been talking crap about Caleb for a while.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that ends tonight on that 8:20 game.
Okay.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, it's good. We have been talking about it's going to be a tight race. I know it's only week 2, but I thought I wanted to see more from the Lions today offensively.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, Scott. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you expect your quarterback not to, throw the ball 55 times with the run game that's been set up and prepared by the Lions coaching staff and their grit, karma, and the mental mindset of that's who they are.
Right.
They line up to hit you in the mouth.
Yeah.
They line up to play physical and violent football.
Yeah.
That is not what you're doing if you're throwing the ball 55 times. Yeah. The question I would have – I'm sorry, Scott.
No, that's okay.
The question I would have, would a game being played the way it was being played today, so tight with scoring, field goals, why are you not running the football more? Why are you not attempting 40 and 50 rush attempts as opposed to 55 pass attempts?
Stop overthinking.
Why do you think that is?
I think that the offensive coordinators, I joke about this all the time, and coaching in almost 30 years, offensive coordinators are prima donnas. They always got to show people what they can do. And I joke about this all the time.
That's a good point.
My brother Joe, shout out to my brother. He was my OC for a couple of years, won a city championship with my brother being offensive coordinator. But offensive coordinators have to be able to show people when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
They want to show you, we're about to get this done.
Gotcha.
Watch what we do this time.
Gotcha.
As opposed to sticking to the game plan and sticking to the personality of the team and sticking to the root of who we are.
Yeah.
They get caught up.
Yeah.
Like, I got to show these guys. They can hear the crowd.
Right.
Offensive coordinators can hear coaches. Offensive coordinators can hear the players.
Yeah.
They want to please everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to end with this. It's funny to me how the Lions are now the hunted, and they got all these weapons, but you can't get the ball to the weapons.
Right.
Because it wasn't a big deal a year or two ago because everybody was cool with whatever we were doing.
Right.
We're happy. Now, Laporte's not getting the ball.
Yeah.
Jameson wants the ball.
Right.
Amon St. Brown wants the ball now.
Right.
The backfield wants the ball. It's got to be about the team.
Yeah.
Let's get away from this individualism. Don't get caught up because people are making a little bit more money now too, and that changes things too.
And to piggyback real quick, one of the fans said, I didn't see a lot of deep balls. That's not who you are.
Right.
That's not who you are. Run the ball. Play power football. Let Goff dink and dunk underneath and over the middle, whatever. Stick to the script. They didn't look like they were sticking to the script today.
No.
Like you said. That's not their identity. Identity is grit and power. You saw it against the Rams.
Yeah.
At the end, we're going to just close the door and stop us. We're running down your throat.
Yep. Agreed.
Too many passes today. Way too many. You can't put the ball in Goff's hands and expect him to continue to
He's not that kind of quarterback.
He's not.
Dave is down at Ford Field with some more fans. Dave, who do we have now?
Thanks, guys. Dave Scott downtown with my new good friend, Patrick Dugan with Down with Detroit. And that's like, down with Detroit.
Yeah, you are down with
You are
Detroit.
down
Yeah,
with
you are
Detroit.
in. You are in. You are down.
So Patrick and I ran into each other today working on our various social media. He's got 350,000 followers on Down with Detroit. And thank you for allowing us to put the show on your
Love it.
channel today.
Love what
too.
you're doing.
We'll keep doing it, huh?
For sure, I'm in.
And thanks for giving away so many T-shirts
That was
today.
fun.
Right?
Appreciate it, folks. Sorry we didn't get a win, but spirits were still high.
All right. I'm going to let you give one more plug in a minute. But Patrick and I were having a lot of fun analyzing the game play by play. Let's take a minute and get your thoughts. You're a very avid, well-educated Detroit Lions fan. Your summary of thoughts of the game.
You know what, we could have pulled that win out. Did not play our best game. Multiple turnovers, sloppy play, but we were still right there with a chance. So that's positive. We build upon it, and we got to get knocked down a little bit so we can go a little bit higher next time.
So we talked about a lot of the offense. We didn't talk much about the defense with people today. Talk a little bit about Aiden Hutchinson. Talk about the good first. I mean, he almost had a record number of sacks for an individual game. A half a sack short of at least tying the record for Detroit Lions of sack totals for an individual game. How do you think he played?
Unbelievable. And when you think about it only being week 2 and him getting 4.5 sacks and what that means for the season, potentially, and how he's coming on, I mean, he may be setting records, but you know he's coming out as an animal all season. So that's very exciting. Very excited about the defense. I think we're in a good spot.
All that said, on many plays, Baker Mayfield was able to get free in spite of all that pressure.
I know it makes you a little bit worried about that mobile quarterback, huh? So we're going to have to see what Aaron Glenn has dialed up for the next mobile quarterback. And, you know, we live and learn. So next time we face one, we should be a little bit better.
You're still bullish on the Lions for this season?
Very bullish on the Lions. Mostly using that word bullish, bully ball. We're a bully ball team. I think we're going to be tough. You know, long season, we're in a good spot.
You think Campbell called a good game?
I'm happy with Dan Campbell. Anyone in the city got anything to say about Dan Campbell calling a bad game, you need to check the record books and stop with that. So I'm not questioning Dan Campbell ever.
That's right. You're a good man. Nice to meet you.
You too, sir. I appreciate
Thank you very much. A final plug for your organization.
www.downwithdetroit.com or check us out on any social media channels, Down with Detroit. Get cool shirts, see cool content. We'll be hanging out with these folks and doing great stuff all season.
All right, well, there you go. That's it from downtown. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Dave. We appreciate it. Listen, this is my takeaways from the game. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're seeing growing pains. Terrion Arnold, we talked about it earlier, Tony, with that pass interference call in the end zone. And then Jamison Williams, his only got that 1 foot in.
Yep.
That's kind of growing pains, wouldn't you
That
say,
is,
for a
sure.
receiver?
Yes, absolutely.
Because that if he would have been able to catch that and made that, we could be talking possibly another overtime game for the Lions or
possibly,
or a win.
Well, even a win. We felt like they would kick field goals and be able to win the football game.
Yeah.
That's what we discussed during our production meeting as we were watching the game.
Yeah.
I look at it, again, as I mentioned earlier, these teams are going to be well prepared for you. Every time you come in, you're going to have to be able to make the necessary adjustments as the Detroit Lions to what teams are going to try to do to you going forward. You're not going to be able to do what you've been doing and think you're going to have success.
Right.
I've always told my players this. I've always said, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got.
Okay.
In other words, you can't keep doing the same thing and think you're going to continue to have the same success.
Well put.
You got to be able to make some adjustments. The success going forward is going to be Lions coaching from A to Z. You cannot coach A, B, C, D. Offensive coordinator got to be prepared. There is no excuse for them to have a system the way they have in place to not be able to continue with that system.
Yeah.
They rushed the ball 27 times total between everybody. I think Montgomery had 13. And I believe that Gibbs had 13 and Montgomery had 11 as far as total rushes. You're going to have to make sure that that's efficient enough to get you the yards.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. If you're only going to get those guys the ball 13, 11 times during the game, then be prepared to, you're not going to be able to get what you need to get out of that. They almost had 100 yards rushing out of it. I think he had 84 yards rushing. Gibbs did have 84 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Which was great. But at the same time, guys, they didn't show who they were.
Yeah.
They weren't able to control the clock. They weren't able to convert on third downs, which was huge. And that's just a big problem when you're trying to maintain and keep the clock.
Yeah, and you guys both said it. Scott mentioned it, the Terrion Arnold thing. It's the defensive backfield. Because guess what? I'm going to throw out another few names coming up. Metcalf, Lamb, Jefferson. So you're going to see a lot more pass interferences. Those guys are hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So be ready. I mean, he's a rookie. These guys are rookies back there.
Yep.
So it's going to you got a lot to prove, a lot to show, and you got to clean up the mess. Clean up the mess.
Well, week 3, the Lions are headed to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals. And right now, guys, believe it or not, the Cardinals are up 21-3 on the Rams. Marvin Harrison Jr. has exploded for 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And they got 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Wow, mobile quarterback. And
you mentioned that during the meeting, too.
I did.
I'm going to tell you guys something as well.
He's coming up, too.
I know you guys know this, but you need to be reminded. The Lions have never played well in Arizona.
Never.
They've never played well. And when they were with the Phoenix Cardinals or before they were the Arizona Cardinals, and I don't know if that's – but I remember them having a hard time because of the heat.
Yep.
of playing well when they go play the Cardinals.
Yeah.
It's a tough place for them to play.
Yep.
They're going to be playing against a really good offensive football team. They got to get back to their roots.
Yep.
That's going to be the most important thing. And the schedule going forward doesn't get any easier, man. They got good quarterbacks and good receivers and good teams.
Yep.
You know, that's going to go against a defense that's not a great defense.
Nope.
And that's the thing that's the thing that's probably more alarming than anything. You're going against a team. This offense today didn't even have their tackle, their starting tackle.
Didn't even have it.
Wasn't even available for them. And that's a big deal when you're trying to protect the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, one guy who had 4 sacks, but realism of it is they're not an offensive juggernaut.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah, they were still able to have success against you, throughout the game.
And that's not great because they uglied it up, but they have finesse guys. They have some finesse guys.
Yeah.
Some receivers and things. They played ugly and they played pretty enough to get the win.
Absolutely. The thing that we have to know and respect, other teams have watched a lot of film during the offseason for the Lions. You are no longer a team that you can ever go around thinking that you are hunting. You are being hunted.
Yep.
And it is serious.
Can't stress that enough.
They are coming for you,
Yeah.
Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Everybody is.
With the mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray, what does the Lions defense have to do going into next week to slow him down? And then you also have an elite, a rookie receiver who has all the talent to be an elite receiver in the NFL in Marvin Harrison Jr., which he didn't show much last week, but he's showing things now here in this game against the Rams. What is the Lions defense going to have to do to slow a mobile quarterback down, like Cole was saying, and Marvin Harrison?
Corey, you want to go?
Well, real quick, Blake, I'm going to let you have it because I'm not a guru like yourself. Would they put a spy on this guy? Can you spy him?
Yeah, you can.
Can you spy?
You can.
Is that an idea?
You can
to
always
spy
have
him?
a spy in, yes.
Can
Yes.
you get some help coverage with? They have another good receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put some guys on top to help out.
Because Kyler's a baseball guy. He can make plays with his legs and his arm.
Yep.
So it's going to be a difficult matchup, and they're away. So I'm just,
Yes.
you tell me what are we looking at here? Are they going to have somebody? And Hutch, I don't want to see 0 sacks next week.
Right.
Don't give me 0 sacks next week.
Right.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that.
Right.
All right?
Like you saw in the NFC championship game.
Yeah. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
we'll
mean,
see.
He's a young guy. And he's going to get better. But
Exactly.
I agree.
So, go ahead, Blank. Tell me.
All right. So what's got the question that Scott proposed was, what will the Lions have to do to have success? They got to make Arizona one-dimensional. That's the key. You're going to have to make them – they cannot be able to run the football at all. It has to be a second and long, third and long game.
Okay.
So that you can peel back and you can attack and you can spy and you can make them throw the football. And Kyler Murray is showing us he'll throw it to the other team too.
Oh, yeah.
That joker would throw interceptions all day long.
Oh, yes, he will.
So he'll force the ball. So the Lions going to have to make sure that they don't ever create a situation where Arizona is able to have success running the football.
Yeah.
That's the key. You got to stop the run. You stop the run, everything else will take care of itself. Now you can focus on stopping him from throwing the ball down the field and him running.
Okay, so make Kyler beat you.
Yes.
Okay.
Offensively, what do they have to do to I mean, obviously they're going to have to clean up what they did. I can't see them throwing 50 times again today. At least you would hope not.
Well, give credit to Tampa because they created a situation defensively, and they had a whole secondary of guys out. They had 3-4 guys that were out in the secondary today.
Yep.
They were missing players today, but that front seven played extremely well for Tampa. They made the adjustments where the Lions weren't prepared, I don't believe, to not be able to run the football. They made it hard for Detroit to run the football today, and because of that, they ended up throwing the ball 55 times. Give Tampa the credit where credit is due. I still think the Lions as a staff got to still stick to whatever their guns are. You can't get caught up. You can't get frustrated and decide you're going to go away from who you are. Find other ways to make sure you're successful. Dink and dunk, we call it salt and pepper teams down the field a little bit.
Okay.
And I think Goff did that a little bit. I think he was able to just hit guys in the flat,
That's who he is.
hit some read routes, some things, some choice routes underneath, and that is who he is. He's able to do that. But when it was time to make a throw down the field, he just wasn't able to make that throw. That was surprising to me. He threw some balls in the dirt today, even the last play of the game, where it
wasn't even close.
That was uncharacteristic of what he's able to do. He's a really good quarterback. I'm not saying he's elite. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, but he took the team to the NFC Championship game last year.
Why do you think that last play was kind of aggravating? Why do you think they didn't throw it into the end zone, especially with the time that was on the clock?
You know what? That's a good question. I think it was 7 seconds left, and that's all you really got time for is one play. I don't know if they had a timeout left at the time. If they did,
No, I don't think they did.
If they did, maybe they were going to complete it and hurry up and call timeout. I'm not sure. I have to look at the replay and look at that. I'm like you, though, Scott. At the end of the day, you got to throw it in the end zone. You have nothing to lose at this point. And he underthrew it and threw it in the dirt, and it was not even a factor, at the end of the game. Never a threat to for Tampa Bay at all.
Well, is there any games left that are going on today that's kind of surprised you before we wrap things up here? I mean, is there any teams that are kind of shocking?
It's the NFL. And, I tell anybody who will listen, it's been like this all my life.
Yeah.
I've been watching this game since I was a kid. And it really, the movie exemplifies, in a way of entertainment, but it's in real life. It's any given Sunday, man. Anybody can beat you any given Sunday,
Right.
Monday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
For it to be 52 years since a team went undefeated, lets you know everything.
Yeah.
It's been 52 years.
Right.
Tommy Terrific, and that New England team should have went undefeated, but the Giants beat them. Because you just look, at the end of the day, they're gonna put the ball down, and the game has to be played.
Yeah.
Vegas had the Lions to win this game by 8 points, I think.
Yeah.
And that we never saw that. That was never a part of the day's game that
Never
we watched
saw it.
today.
Never
That was
saw it.
never going to happen.
Never saw it.
So, again, you never know. In the league itself, Scott, to answer your question, I love the NFL. I enjoy it because of this. I enjoy it because of the parity, because you just never know what's going to happen. It's always going to be somebody who we didn't expect that's going to show up. Somebody this year. There's going to be a team this year that's going to be in the playoffs. We were like, how in the heck did this team get in the playoffs? They were horrible last year.
Love it.
It could be Arizona.
Love it. Love it.
You never know. It could be Indianapolis is struggling right now. Could be we don't know. It's going to be somebody.
Yeah.
It happens every year.
Yeah.
The one thing that, and I'll finish with this, the Lions are no longer the darlings.
Yeah.
Right.
They used to be the darlings.
Yeah.
They were the 9-8 beating Green Bay at home at the end of the year darlings.
Yeah.
They were everybody's feel good. Oh my God. And then they came back last year with 12-5.
Yeah.
And they were half away from going to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Now, but see, now somebody else is going to be the darling.
Yeah.
That's the NFL. That's, to me,
That's the beauty
how
of
you break it all down and exemplify the whole league itself.
Yep.
Somebody's coming.
Somebody's coming. My shocker was the Minnesota game.
Cool.
I thought Minnesota would play the Niners well. I didn't expect them to beat them. That was a shocker for me. So that just tells you, like you said, any given Sunday, that's the beauty of this league. That's the beauty. Any given Sunday, those Applebee wings. Any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Absolutely.
I love it.
Anything else you want to do to make get under Lion fans for skin for another week?
No, I think they've suffered enough. I'm not here to bury them.
Jeez.
I think they just need to wake up and smell a little bit of the coffee. It's going to be a long season. I still got you at 9-8. You look like a 9-8 team today.
Yeah.
You look like a 9-8 team today. Like I said, Tampa Bay came to play. Bubby has the chip, my guy. He has a chip on his shoulder, and he went in there. And the Tampa Bay defense, they mucked it up. They played hard all the way through.
Yeah.
The Rams ran out of gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did.
Tampa Bay played hard all the way through, and they made it difficult for golf. When you get in his face, we even said it. His arm looked different. His feet look happy.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday, man, I love it.
Yep.
Well, we want to thank you for watching The Roar live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. The Roar Live is your streaming choice for Lions coverage and commentary from fans like you and our panel, including Tony Blankenship and Corey Tiez. Join us live next week after the Lions go on the road to the desert to play the Arizona Cardinals. For Roar reporter Dave Scott, who's been down on Ford Field,
Awesome,
giving us some great interviews from the fans, and of course, Jared Clark and David White in the control room.
awesome.
I'm Scotty William.
Great job, guys.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on The Roar. We want to hear from you. See you next week.
See you at Applebee's.